Welcome to How to Write a Value Proposition with examples. Let's go. In this video, I'm going to dive into first, obviously, what is a value proposition and why you need one. Then I'm going to talk about how to create one, and I'll briefly discuss how long it should be, what the elements should be. I'll share with you a formula and also give you a whole bunch of great examples. Let's go. First off, what is the importance of a value proposition? Why do you need one and what is it? Well, a value proposition succinctly states the value that you bring to your clients. It has certain elements, or it should, in my opinion, have certain elements that you always include. For example, you always want a value proposition to say who it's for, what the outcome is, or what the solution is that you provide, and generally speaking, why it's important, why you want to do it, or why the person that it's targeting would be interested in getting such an outcome. One of the reasons that is important is because, especially in this day and age, when people's attention spans are so short, we want to quickly be able to convey our value without grasping for words or fumbling with our sentences. You want to make it quick, succinct, easy, and simple. Before we continue, I just want to take this opportunity to invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even post a comment below. Now, before I dive into how to put together a value proposition, I want to give props to the people from whom I learned this. The first person that ever taught me anything about this was Jake Merriman, one of my earlier mentors, who gave me an initial formula. The second person is Lois Creamer, whose most recent book is called Book More Business, Make Money Speaking, which she co-wrote with a friend of mine, they're both friends of mine, Kathy Fayok. So together, I've combined these two mission statements and added a little special sauce of my own to give you this formula, which I shall now place on the whiteboard. It is: I work with X to create this outcome, Y, so that Z. Now, I do want to emphasize that a positioning statement could position you, as in I work with, but it could also position a program. So you can also say, this program helps blank. So if it's not about you doing the work and what you're positioning is a program, then you can use this top formula. So I work with, and I'm going to fill in these blanks now, X, which is the who, to create Y, which is the what, that's the outcome, so that Z, which is why, right? And so this is, I often split this into a little y and a big Y, but you don't have to have both, but you can, and I'll go through these in a moment. So I work with, or this program helps blank X. Who's it for? Who's the ideal target audience? And the more specific you are, in my opinion, the better. The second piece is this why, this outcome. What is it that you help them do? What outcome do you create? What is it that they're looking for that would appeal to this person? Now, you want to be careful with the why, because sometimes you deliver outcomes that clients don't necessarily want or know that they need. So you want to focus in your positioning statement on an outcome that they want and that they know they need, and save the hidden stuff for later. And then finally, so that Z is, what is the big why to get this outcome? Why does this outcome matter? So I'm going to give you some examples now so that you can get a sense of how this works, right? I'm going to read these examples from my computer, so pardon me for looking down every so often. The first one is Marilyn Rousseau. Marilyn Rousseau, she says, I work with high-achieving women of color in tech to prioritize themselves and set boundaries so that they can prevent burnout and achieve work-life balance, right? And by the way, you can see that there's some buzzwords in here. Work-life balance, burnout, these are words that these women know that they're dealing with. And so do their bosses, and so do their companies. And since Marilyn's in a corporate environment, she wants to use the buzzwords that the HR directors and the managers are using. The next one is Dave Rosenberg. Now, Dave, he says, I work with manufacturing companies that want to transform their teams into radically accountable, high-performing forces so that when the stakes are high, they perform reliably and effectively. So notice that he's really clear about manufacturing companies. So he has a narrow focus and he has a really clear outcome that he's trying to generate for these people. Here's another one. This is one of my earliest clients ever. Her name's Leanne Webster, and I've talked about her a lot on this channel. And her mission statement is, I help expert entrepreneurs deploy email marketing in a way that honors their audience's inbox so that they can create relationships of mutual trust and prosperity. Now, what I love about this one is that she snuck something else into this positioning statement. She added a little bit of how she does it, the unique way that she achieves the outcomes. We'll call that W. Did you catch that? Where she says, I help them deploy email marketing in a way that honors their audience's inbox. So that's a unique way that she helps them create this result. So another thing that you might want to work into yours, but be careful that it doesn't get too long, because that's one of the worst things you can do. You want to make it snappy, short, sweet, and compelling. Here's another one that I think is going to be really good. This is Amy Lemire. She says, I work with success-driven sales stars to increase confidence, personal power, and revenues so they can lose the stress and be the best version of themselves. Now, one thing I really like about this one is she says, I work with success-driven sales stars. What I like about that is that's an aspirational target audience. Maybe if you know a success-driven sales star out there, they would probably love to be described in this way. And they might even describe themselves in this way. So that's another thing to think about. You want to be careful about labeling these people as anything that they would not want to be labeled as. Now, of course, your positioning statement is something you might just have internally for you, but I recommend having something that also can be shared externally on your website, in your brochures, in your email signature, so that everywhere that you put yourself out there, people know exactly who you serve, what you do for them, and why you do it. I hope you found this video valuable, and I hope that if you want to work with somebody to develop your positioning statement, your mission statement, your branding, marketing, and you're looking for a mentor or a coach, then I may be able to help. You can check out more about me and my programs and services at superstaractivator.com/go. And specifically, you might want to check out my business breakthrough program at superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com.